Hello and welcome to a bit different video. It's kind of a report card for the Incite, but also a bit of an addition and adjustment to my original review. I'm going to show you some footage from the original review here and then add in some new footage later in the video. Neither Angel or I were big on the Incite at first. It smells great, but the shelf appeal is average and it basically acted like an Omega Crux. Being that the Omega was still around at the time, I didn't really get it. I already had an Omega that I liked. Angel wasn't big on either one, and despite the Incite winding up better from deeper angles, I already had plenty of stuff that would do that. However, I always preach that you can't just put a couple games on a ball and be done with it. The covers have to get some use on them and get broken in like a baseball glove or a softball bat, so I still took it to several league nights and tournaments. The initial review is still important because it lets you know exactly what you're getting out of the box, and first impressions matter more than some people think or will admit. If I don't like a ball out of the box, it's pretty hard for it to overcome that even with me trying to give it a fair chance. But if I were to spend a month or two taking a ball to league nights and tournaments on different lane conditions and different houses and put it through all its paces before I made the first review, number one, no one would care about a video for a ball that came out 2 months ago, and number two, most importantly, it would reflect where the ball ends up at, not really where it started. And sometimes where a ball ends up at can be fairly different from where it starts. If you go buy a ball expecting to get out of the box what I ended up with at 30-40 games later, you're going to end up with a pretty different ball in some cases. Now, all that long-winded mess was just to say that this is why I do it the way I do it. I make a review based on what I get out of the box and show you exactly what you can expect. In the case of the Incite, if you keep it clean and keep the surface on it, that reaction is where it's going to stay for quite a while. However, if you're like me and most other people, I just let stuff shine up and only put the surface back on it if I'm at a tournament or something tougher or heavier and need that kind of look. Most of the time, a sanded box surface on a ball already this strong is just going to be too much ball for your regular league, so letting it shine up knocks the hook potential down a bit, and it also makes it longer and stronger. As you continue to use it, even keeping it clean, the hard responsiveness or the edge is going to smooth out. The ball will become more forgiving and generally work into something really nice. The problem is that sometimes people love something out of the box and expect it to stay that way forever, which is ridiculous, of course, because literally everything changes, deteriorates, and or wears out, so it's just not realistic. But on the flip side, sometimes people don't like a ball out of the box and go to get rid of it after a game or two, right after complaining about how expensive bowling balls are while they were buying it, I imagine. As I add in the new footage, the Incite is a rare case of a ball that eventually won me over and won me over big. As I finished filming for the original video, the shots from deeper perked my ears up a bit, especially as the cover started to get a little shine on it. It was definitely continuous, which is a big plus for me. I don't really get around the ball a ton, so something that wants to be straighter usually puts it in a do not fly zone for me. And, it was controllable, but with a bit of extra zip that the Omega didn't have. The Omega wanted to be the Omega from everywhere. It was just an aggressive, round, smooth, lane-controlling ball. The Incite gives me that same blend and control from straighter, or if I'm soft with it, but if I need to move in and bang on it a bit, I can do that too. R4S is a really strong cover, but still a generally responsive formula type, so there's a nice compromise between pattern blend and shape. It's still on the smoother side, so if you need bigger shape or more shape, it's still probably not going to be your first choice. In the original review, the ratings I gave were 8 for hook, 4 for length, and 4 for back end strength, but I've decided to adjust those up to 9.55, putting it at the same numbers as the RSTX1. Aside from it being stronger, not quite as early, and sharper than I initially read it, it has a lot more in common with the RST than the Omega. They're just different shapes. So while making the rounds the last couple months and seeing other people throw it, the Incite has worked its way into being the first ball in my second bag because I can do virtually anything with it. My conclusion is that the Incite is very quietly one of the most versatile balls in any of our three brands and should be getting the same amount of attention that Zen is. For those with an Ordnance C4, the Incite is a bigger / stronger version of it, and that's another ball that's unfortunately getting overlooked too. Where something like the Parallax Effect just didn't work for me out of the box and never really did anything after that to change my mind, the Incite went the opposite direction and didn't just find its way into the tournament options pile, it kicked a regular league ball out of the bag and now goes everywhere. Once again, I've changed the ratings to a 9 for hook, a 5 for length, and a 5 for backhand strength. It's closest to the RSTX-1 on hook potential, the IQ Tornado Pearl in length, and the Axiom in backhand strength. Select the next comparison you'd like to see from the links on the screen, or scroll down to the description to find links to other choices. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.